Hello everyone, and welcome to a new episode of LostinTranslationmon. This time we're covering Digimon Adventure 2020, episode 19, How Juoken. I'm joined by Quinn.
Howdy.
And Stevie.
I promise not to sabotage the intro this time.
Yay! I just want to point out that Anime Lab uploaded the episode an hour late, which meant that instead of going and doing something else like a reasonable person, I just kind of sat there for an hour, refreshing the screen, Control F5ing it every few minutes, just to see when it was uploading. But so that's what I did, which is unreasonable, but
A little bit.
it was only an hour late, which isn't too bad. Like, there's always part of me that's like, oh my god, it's not up. Is it going to be like 12 hours late? Is it going to be like a rush to get it in before the podcast recording and also sleep? And I'm just kind of like, oh gosh. But no, it's just an hour, which is fine.
Yeah, the way the time zones work out, it's nice for me that I can just watch it the next morning, and then also I don't do social media, so no one ever spoils it.
Yeah, like I had the Reddit problem. I managed to not look at Reddit like I did last time, where I was spoiled to Omegamon's existence again, even though I shouldn't honestly be that surprised. But yeah. So anyway, the episode starts up and we get straight into the opening, so I guess that means that the Digimon Encyclopedia has just been permanently moved to the end of the episode, which I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
Of that. It wasn't just a one-off because of the pacing of the episode, or I think at least. But so yeah, I'm happy with its new placement being at the end. I'm a big fan of that. And we get Devimon sort of opening the episode with a sort of very deep and ominous sort of exposition dump, and it's pretty, like, I always love Devimon's voice. It's really deep and creepy, and it's kind of, I don't know, I like his voice.
Yeah.
Devimon... Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so Devimon addresses some evil Digimon that he has in his army, and then we get to see what Taichi and Yamato are doing in the desert, because it's Digimon, and Digimon really like having their main characters walking through a desert.
Mm-hmm. It's a very cheap background.
Yeah, basically, and also I kind of do like the desert scenes because it's always got, sand crossing the screen, and it's got a lot of stuff going on. But geez, I think it's every season that has a desert walking scene, which it's kind of like, at this point, like I kind of wait for it, like every season, like, okay, when's the desert walking scene? So I'm kind of excited for it whenever it's going to happen.
Yeah. I'm a little sad they never did anything with the original Adventures desert just having random gear patterns in it.
Yeah.
That was kind of neat looking without ever meaning anything.
Oh yeah, I liked the original digital world because of all the, like, random bits of tech. And it's the same thing of the world in Digimon World, how it's sort of got, like, auxiliary ports and a bunch of other, like, cables floating around, like, just, and floppy disks just sort of, like, sitting on the ground. And it was always just a really nice aesthetic of having these weird bits of technology that's sort of floating around. Well, not floating, definitely. Like, just sort of sitting on the ground. Yeah.
The telephone booths. So good.
Yeah, the telephone booths were
good.
Yeah, like, I kind of wish this digital world had more digital world weirdness in terms of technology just sort of sitting there, like, hanging out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Taichi is trying to contact the others on his Digivice, and I'm just... The first thing and the main thing I noticed is that the animation team has actually remembered that the children were in battle last episode, and they've actually kept the scratches and dirt marks that was covering them, which I really appreciate, because out of all the episodes, this barely ever happened. Like, damage never sort of carried across episode, except if it was like a cliffhanger sort of two-parter episode. If it was a different scene, like the damage and dirt that was maybe covering them, or maybe not at all covering them, they'd just be clean. So I really do appreciate the fact that the dirt and scratches has persisted between scenes and episodes, because it barely ever happens.
Yeah.
Koshiro is able to contact Taichi, and then this kind of bums me out, because I was like, okay, it's good that they contact them, because I get to see what they're doing, and it looks like they're actually going to be doing plot important stuff, but also... Nope. I was kind of like, yeah, good. Maybe they're sort of, they're going to say, okay, we can't contact them and actually address it, they can't be contacted, but nope, they can be contacted anytime, they're fine, they can communicate, it's fine. Anyway, so Koshiro reveals that he, Sora, Joe, and Mimi are back in Tokyo, and it's for real this time, and they learn that their Digimon are not actually there. And they're kind of concerned to know that they're not with Taichi and Yamato either. And I'm kind of glad that we get to see what the other characters are doing. So, a news broadcaster says the power is back, but the prolonged disturbances have all had lasting effects on the train lines. And then we see Joe, who says that he has reported everything that happened to a police box, but they didn't actually believe him. And then Koshiro then tells him that there's a lot of fake information on the internet about it. And Sora recognises Taichi's mum and sister. And then Hikari's mum continues to be weird and realises she forgot the car. So she hands the cat to Sora and tells the group of children to look after a slightly younger child and the cat.
And does not once mention Tai.
Yeah, which doesn't say, hey, Sora, have you seen Tai?
Hey, it's my son's 2 friends. Have either of them seen my kid?
I'm not sure if she would know Koshiro, because Taichi and Koshiro had just previously met.
Yeah, I guess that's a maybe, but...
Yeah, but Sora definitely. Like,
she even calls him her Taichi's mom, and not one mention of him. Like, what the heck? Yeah,
there's no mention of Taichi. There's no, like... I don't know, it just feels weird, like Taichi has been given no alibi. Like, she hasn't said, oh, Taichi said that he's at, like...
He's not at summer camp. He was just missing for the entirety of the blackouts.
Which makes me feel weird. Like, did the writers forget that they're not at summer camp?
Maybe?
Because they definitely went to summer camp, but then they went home.
Like, even if they were still at summer camp, Taichi's mom should question that all of his friends that are supposed to be at summer camp are in the middle of Tokyo right now.
Yeah, and she does briefly, and then just immediately moves on because it would be plot inconvenient for that question to need an actual answer.
Like, she seems very frantic. Like, she's just sort of like, oh, I forgot the car in the middle of the road. Here, children, look after my child.
She didn't forget it.
You abandoned it for no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so... Hikari's mum's being weird.
Yeah, she really is.
This is weird.
She's
It's like weird behaviour. Like, maybe she just doesn't like Taichi. Or Hikari. Maybe she never wanted children.
Or a cat
Dad's
leader.
not around, that it would be a whole thing.
Yeah, but like she's just sort of like, oh, time to abandon my child with these other children. Which just seems weird. Like, you're entrusting an 8-year-old with a bunch of, like, I guess Joe is like 11 or 12, but I think he's 12.
Still not
but
much. I mean, I sort of get it, because she's like, I'm gonna go get the car and I can take all of you home then, but...
How would they all fit in the car?
It'd be a tight fit, but they could.
Yeah.
3 in the back, 1 in the passenger seat.
Yeah.
But it's Sora, Joe, Mimi, and Koshiro. That's 4.
Oh yeah.
Plus Hikari. Does Hikari go in the boot?
I assume.
If Hikari sits on someone's lap, it'll be fine.
I don't think, like, I think she's too old to sit on someone's lap. Like, she's 8. Like,
I mean,
she
shouldn't, but also, rather than abandoning these children in the middle of Tokyo, that's really the better option.
Look, knowing Hikari's mum and what we've seen of her, she'll
She's
probably
gonna
just either
abandon
forget Hikari or tie her to the roof.
It's okay,
put her
Hikari will just glow.
Yeah, or she put her in the boot and just with the cat.
No, the cat needs to sit on
someone's lap.
The cat goes on someone's lap while
we need you to get in the
Hikari's
cat carrier.
Yeah, Hikari, you're a plot device. Just get in the boot.
Yeah. But
Anyway,
not good.
so
it's basically just like
Hikari...
Taichi's mom is like, I'm not a main character. I need to get off screen as fast as possible.
Well, same with all these other characters, because this is all we see of the characters this this episode.
Yeah, they're just sidelined and not going to be important until we bring them back.
But I don't know, Hikari's mum just feels kind of like empty, like sort of forgetful, and they're making the adults in this show really useless. And it's more so than any other show. Like, a lot of shows are just like, well, the adults in our show are useless because it's a kids show and we want the kids to save the day and not the adults. But this sort of
they're like
takes that
abusively terrible.
Yeah, this is just like, well, all the parents and adults are absolutely useless.
They are neglectful
Like, this the original
parents.
adventure. Mimi's dad, like, drove, like, a little mini car thing into the giant dinosaur that was threatening his family.
Yeah, it didn't work, but he tried.
Yeah, it didn't work at all, but, like, there was an attempt, and, like, anything to do with Mimi's parents, I can't wait until we meet them. They're just the best parents in all of Digimon. Actually, all the parents are pretty good. And anyway, so we get to see back, we get what, I can't even put 2 words together today. Hello. We're back to Taichi and Yamato because we're completely done with knowing what Hikari's doing. She's not even glowing, so the writers are kind of bored with Hikari when she's not glowing, when she's just sort of standing there, but whatever. and there's a big earthquake, and it turns out to be Velvemon walking, which is such a throwback to Digimon World 2003. I love it. I love all the Digimon that are showing up that haven't really shown up before many other times. Like, maybe they had one appearance in an episode of Digimon in the past, but it's just so great to see these Digimon.
And I'm really into, like, Digimon as troop carriers.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. To have them big as, like, these big warships, basically. We've had
Waspmon.
Was it Cannonbeamon?
Oh, no,
Yeah,
it was
Cannonbeamon.
Cannonbeamon, which, like, digivolved from Waspmon or something.
Yeah.
So like
it
that.
goes Fanbeamon, Waspmon, Cannonbeamon. But it was just really nice to see a giant warship. And, I mean, it made me kind of annoyed because I kind of wanted to see Velvemon be in battle. Like,
do
Velvemon
anything.
seems to... Yeah. But it's fine. I'm happy with a warship, and it's actually being piloted by some Troopmon and
That's
the
what they're
Minotaurmon,
called.
who is kind of just hanging out as a silhouette.
Gorgeous. Such a terrible threat. Like,
Yeah.
They're just Stormtroopermon.
Yeah, well, the next scene, we have these lasers just missing the children, despite the kids just sort of walking straight into them. I don't understand. Troopmon's a terrible shot. And it's just, these are such plot lasers. Like, we didn't even have, like, the trope of, like, you know...
We didn't run away from
laser,
them. We
like...
just looked meaningfully at each other and then kept walking.
Yeah, it's just... And it happens the entire episode. These lasers never actually connect. We don't even get the trope of, like, you know, it kind of brushes the side of someone's arm and they yell out in pain and grab their arm or something. These lasers never connect, which makes them seem just so... are they just, like...
I could be reasonably convinced that they're laser pointers.
Yeah, just, like... Which begs the question, do we get Leomon just randomly, like, scratching at the wall for one? Like, I don't know.
We sure murder a lot of them.
Yeah, it's just sort of... These are not... These bullets do not look dangerous. I'm not in fear of the children's life. I'm glad that we're actually shooting at the children instead of just shooting at the Digimon. Like, that's great, but... the lasers don't do anything, and it just makes it seem the stakes are not high. Like, I know they're not going to die. I know they're not going to, like, get any lasting damage. It's going to be like an episode of damage like we had with Sora in Joe's Evolution episode. But they could at least have something that made it seem like they were in danger. But they're just running through them.
Just have sand kicking up when the lasers hit the ground or something. Just to show that there's impact from them.
Yeah, just make them just anything at all. Just they just look like they were just drawn over the screen, and because there's just we have one interaction with the lasers and a solid object, and that is later on Leomon's sword hits a few of them, but that's it.
And it's so corny. For some reason, it makes a sound.
Yeah, it's like a ting ting ting. I'm like, why haven't we... Okay, I'm just going to step this back, forward. When they're inside the metal object and the Troopmon are firing the lasers at them, why aren't we having any noise of the lasers? Or wouldn't the lasers be, like, you know, reflecting off the metal walls?
It doesn't have to make sense. It's supposed to be cool, and it's just not.
It's not at all. And I can understand, like, okay, it's Digimon, just it's a suspension of disbelief, whatever. But it's
pretty glaring.
Make the lasers do something other than a 1 second frame where it's just Leomon's sword reflecting them, because it just is a weird... Anyway, that's a bit ahead of me, but it is the most annoying part of the episode, and it's probably... The fact that the Troopmon lasers don't do anything really affected my score, but I guess we'll get to that later. But I just took offense to it. It was offensive to me.
I would have thought the most annoying bit would be cutting away from anyone that's not Taisho Yamato after 5 minutes.
Yeah. No more Taichin Yamato. I mean, whatever.
We sure don't care that all of the other kids' Digimon are missing.
Yeah, like, I guess that's something that they will care about.
Next episode.
Wait, not next episode.
Nope.
I looked at the episode titles. I'm just like, no.
Yeah,
they weren't even in the
next
next
to get back
preview.
to them.
We'll get there, but yeah, the next preview also really annoys me.
Yeah, there's a couple of things. Anyway, so we have Leomon showing up by riding a Peckmon, and it's just... it would be an extremely cool moment of him showing up riding a Pekmon if him riding a Pekmon didn't look so utterly, absolutely ridiculous. I don't know why. I can't put my finger on it, but I like Pekmon. I like that he's a giant emu, but riding one just seems really, really weird.
It's pretty weird, and then also every other Digimon in the scene gets to talk and be introduced, except Pekmon.
Yeah, just like, oh, this is our horse. He doesn't have a personality because he is horse. Also, he can fly. Also, he looks like Pekmon. We're not even going to address that we have a Falcomon show up who evolves into Pekmon, which big fan of Spartamon and Falcomon showing up, by the way. Like, Spartamon's actually one of my favorite Digimon.
It's a good design.
It's a great design. It's got it's like a little warrior. He's like a little blue. I wish he was in more scenes of this episode because they just kind of forget about him existing despite having him get a name tag.
Yeah, well, I
only
forget
Leomon
if either
could
of
tell
those
the
characters
prophecy.
got a line.
I don't think
No,
they
didn't. Like, they just showed up.
They weren't
but
Leomon.
they got a name tag.
Screw him.
Leomon had just. I don't know. I wish I was excited to see Spartamon. I was like, oh man, are we gonna have Spartamon as a character? No, never mind. It's Digimon.
Wait, never mind. Yeah.
It's like, no.
Only Leomon gets a character today.
We are bringing back Leomon for the original series, and the fans will be hype for him and no one else.
Yeah, I'm just hype for him to just start the countdown of how many episodes he survived. Props to Leomon for surviving.
13 minutes today.
Yeah, well done, Leomon. I don't know. I feel like he's gonna die the moment Devimon decides to actually show himself to the children. I think Devimon's gonna be like, ha ha ha, I am Devimon, and then Leomon's gonna be like, I will handle this. Children escape, just like in the original. Mm-hmm. And Leomon will either be turned evil or will just be murdered. And I'm gonna lean towards the latter on this one because it's Digimon and it's Leomon.
I think he's gonna turn evil, turn back, and then die. That's my prediction.
I want Leomon to just be killed. He's just too cocky.
I don't want it. It's just going to happen.
I want it to not happen because then it'd be sort of subverting expectations.
But
Digimon doesn't do that.
Those aren't the expectations I want subverted.
Have Leomon almost die 4 times.
If they're going to subvert any expectations, don't make it just be like, oh look, Leomon's still alive and on screen. This is new.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Did y'all see the quote from the voice actor who plays Leomon, who basically laughed and said, "So how long do I live this time?"
Excellent.
Because I'm just like, well, I'm glad he's aware of wow, I wonder how many days I have to work.
That's pretty great, and probably has a decent idea.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I kind of feel for him, oh, my friend.
Okay,
You're in for a world of hurt.
I need to say this because it's been in my head for the last 5 minutes, but Leomon has pecs, so it's pecs on a Pekmon.
Aha.
Huh, that's funny.
And now I can live the rest of my life.
Happy?
Hopefully.
But anyway, back to the episode, because we just got on a tangent about Leomon existing and Spartamon also existing, but not to the same extent as Leomon. So they're all riding Pekmon in this group, apparently Spartamon and Falcomon too, and they then leave with Taichi and Yamato on the Pekmon, which is still hilarious. There's something about Pekmon which is fun on its own, but as soon as you actually have someone riding the Pekmon, just seems just randomly absurd for Digimon. Just sort of okay.
Yeah, I'd even have been okay with if it was just the kids.
Yeah.
But massive Leomon on a Pekmon is pretty funny.
Yeah. There's just something about it. It just sort of, I don't know. I fancied it. It gave me a bit of a giggle.
They just seem too sentient. They don't look like Chocobo from Final Fantasy. But you're just
being
okay,
treated like Chocobo.
Exactly, that's why it's weird. It's
I mean, it was a choice.
I'd be pretty down with it if we actually just played the Final Fantasy Chocobo music.
While the Pekmon are running, just yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that. Anyway, so the group then sort of meet and start eating fruit, and they're planning to steal the cargo from Velvemon, and then they end up breaking into the Velvemon and then get shot at by Troopmon again, and the Troopmon are just terrible shots. Then Gabumon manages to evolve while running directly into the gunfire, the lasers, and Agumon then rides Garurumon as they continue to run directly into the gunfire. Leomon says he's heard of the chosen children and wonders if the destiny of the world is about to go to drastic change. Then Leomon decides to hit some of the lasers, as I was talking about before, which is just ridiculous because it's the only time. Yeah, it's the only time they do anything. It just looks weird. And he decides to fight the Troopmon, and then, meanwhile, Minotaurmon says that Leomon's target must be the cargo, which seems very obvious. Why else would they be there? They're not just there to dance with the Troopmon lasers or whatever they're doing. And the group then bursts into a room with more Troopmon. Leomon destroys them by using his sword as a boomerang, because
why not?
somehow makes more sense than Troopmon's lasers, so I'm actually here for it.
At least it's a corporeal object.
Yeah, at least I'm like, okay, well, the lasers aren't, bending, and whatever, they're fine. But the lasers are still worse. Anyway, so Minotaurmon shows up, and Leomon says that he'll keep Minotaurmon busy, and Minotaurmon says, hey, I have a Bullmon to keep the children busy too, and Agumon gets to evolve, because of course he does. And Bullmon, by the way, is an armor-level Digimon. He evolves from Wormmon with the Digi-Egg of Hope.
Wow.
Just as a fun fact, because I do like when the armored Digimon show up.
I thought he was an armored one.
I'm kind of curious if they're actually doing something with that, if it's the Egg of Hope.
Nah.
No, I mean, I don't think so. They've always had
I was just
armored
thinking,
Digimon show up randomly.
With Minotaurmon, who, by the way, is just a built dude in a suit, and it bothers me.
I mean, so is Leomon.
Yeah, but there's a zipper.
Oh, yeah, that is...
It's just a guy in a fursuit, and that... Anyway.
Don't shame him.
He just starts talking about how there's going to be a new form of evolution. I'm like, are we maybe doing that? That would be cool.
Oh, it's just going to be evolving to
Super Ultimate or whatever, yeah.
It's going to be like Devimon maybe evolving to Neo Devimon, or if the writers feel lazy, evolving him until Myotismon, who is somehow I don't know, I don't think I'd like him evolving into Vamdemon because they're kind of different. Vamdemon's more of a go-getter, Devimon just sort of sitting there and having bad guys do bad things for him.
Yeah. I loved his speech at the beginning where he said that soon our plan will have moments of victory, and I'm like, you're
just
you're
moments.
Really, lowering expectations here.
Yeah, just moments of, this season has moments of good parts.
Yeah.
This episode has Valvemon and Spartamon existing.
Mm-hmm. It is significantly better than the last episode. We have to get that.
Yeah, but, I don't, it's not hard.
No, it's a low bar.
It's a very low bar. This episode is probably not better than the other episodes we've had this season. That weren't episode 18 and episode 10.
Yeah.
But
anyway, we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. So, Bullmon is probably the least designed armored Digimon. They're all they've always got some sort of nice design, and Bullmon's sort of it's a bull. It has the crest of hope on his cape. But I still like it. I still like the armor level Digimon showing up. I'm a big fan. I'm still waiting for Rinkmon to show up, because he will one day.
Rinkmon's
So
cool.
Greymon fights Bullmon, and Minotaurmon fights Leomon, and Garurumon just kind of stands there doing nothing. And then he's like, oh wait, I can fight too. And then he kind of just only has Greymon thrown at him. Minotaurmon says that Devimon has some power to change the digital world. Bullmon starts to charge at Taichi, and Taichi just stands there. Instead of running away, he just stands there oh, Bullmon's approaching. And then Garurumon pushes Bullmon away and starts to lead the Bullmon into walls by making him follow him and then dodging. Kind of like a Matador thing going on. And it's kind of weird that they're struggling so much for an armor level Digimon who is either an adult level Digimon, if we're not looking at armor Digimon, or is an armor level Digimon.
And we just had to not use our super evolves because that would just make this too easy.
Well, Taichi does power Greymon up by his courage or something. He does the glowing thing.
He does, and I'm fine with it. It's just okay, but why?
I mean, you could say it takes more energy, and they've eaten, but they haven't really rested, so they may not be have enough energy, but they sure don't say that.
But they don't, yeah.
Just have a moment where Taichi's Greymon, can you evolve to Metal Greymon? And Greymon's no, I'm having trouble to maintain this form. I can't do it.
Yeah.
Like, have, like, it's not a long conversation. Just have, like, him say, hey, can you do a thing? And Greymon saying, no, tired, must sleep. Mm-hmm. I don't know, just something. So then Leomon decides that he and Minotaurmon should finish the fight just by fist bumping each other and just being angry about it. And then Leomon has a new attack, which is a new version of Duoken. Yeah, you know what it's called? It's called New Duoken. Yep. Thanks. I wish I was making that up. Thanks. This is like the new Nintendo 3DS.
Yeah.
Which is not new anymore.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't hate it. I insist that his I have more than one fist thing is just meant as him saying he's poly.
Yeah, it's like he's got two hands. He can have multiple fists. Yeah. It's fine.
Yeah. No, that fight was boring.
Yeah, it was very much to Digimon Shonen sort of, hey, you attack bigger. Okay.
We did it.
So Minotaurmon, yeah, they did it. Minotaurmon sits there dying. Yeah. I'm kind of a fan of, like, how they have, like, Minotaurmon sitting there and dying. Like, him just sort of, like, flickering. Like, it's a really nice aesthetic. Like, it makes it seem much more than just bursting into data. It seems like he is dying, not just, like, exploding into data. It just, I don't know why. I like the aesthetic, and I have to have some highlights.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
He says the children won't be able to overcome what's coming at their current power levels, and then explodes, and I'm just sitting there like, oh, we're getting Mega soon, huh?
Yep.
Thanks, Minotaurmon.
Yep.
And then Leomon reveals the cargo. It's Takaru, because of course it is, because we can't just have, like, me be excited about the potential, like,
can't have
the adventures of Takaru.
Anything.
Like, I just really wanted to see his solo adventures, like, because he was in the digital world. We can assume that from the pixelated hands last episode, but he just kind of got... Are we going to, like, at least see a recap of him arriving and then having adventures? No. He's in a jar.
Yep.
I just really wanted to see the adventures of Takaru being, like, we'll have Digibaby Boom of him just sort of having wholesome adventures in the digital world until random bad guy shows up.
Mm-hmm. Give me something.
Give me something, not just a kid in a jar. So we then see Angemon, who appears to be, like, captured by Devimon in some great dark place, and just, like, fantastic, thanks Digimon. I mean, it's I'm looking forward to the next episode, but I just really wish we had the adventures of Takaru by himself. But we're not gonna have that. I don't get that. No. And then we finish off with the Digimon Encyclopedia. It's Ikakumon, and I was wondering what horrors that Koshiro had for us this time. He just wonders if Ikakumon can warm up his bento box.
That's
fantastic.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, Koshiro, thanks for not having, like, I wonder what's inside Ikakumon this time. I'm glad that we got something nice.
Honestly,
and also,
it would be reasonable to ask, where do all of the extra horns come from?
Yeah, like, that's what I wonder. But no, he's like, I wonder if they can warm up my bento box, which is still, like, that is still a reasonable thing to wonder. And, yeah, we get, like, Kabuterimon next time, which is exciting because I really like hearing what Koshiro has to say about Kabuterimon, because he really likes Kabuterimon, because it's his Digimon.
Well, if it's just, like, really short, it's just like, Kabuterimon is the best Digimon. The end.
That'd be the best!
It would be wonderful.
Like, you don't, like, he doesn't have to give any information. He's just like, Kabuterimon's the best Digimon because he's mine. Yay. I just want wholesome Digimon. Give. Toei, give.
Yeah, although it's weird that we're covering Digimon who just did not appear in this episode.
Oh yeah, that's definitely weird, but it made sense when it was like the evolution episodes, but I'm fine. And also it makes me wonder if by the time we're done with all the explanations of the adults that have shown up, we'll probably also get Patamon and Angemon maybe, and then I can imagine we'll be getting maybe Holy Angemon, and then maybe we'll get the introductions to Perfect on each of the evolutions to Ultimate/Mega.
Yeah, maybe.
So that gives us sort of like a rough... we sort of have a rough idea of perhaps when we could get the evolution, the next evolution arc, which seems fairly soon.
Although
we're almost done.
I'd like to hear what Koshiro has to say about Devimon.
I wonder if we're going to get any, like, non-protagonist Digimon.
I feel
also,
like we
Koshiro
have to run out eventually. There's 66 episodes, and I just don't think we're going to have that many evolutions to pad that out.
Oh man, I hope we get evolution trees. That'd be great.
That would be pretty cool, but I will believe that if
I
and only
mean,
if it happens.
Koshiro can start doing stuff like talk about Leomon and whatever other Digimon they
Yeah.
come across.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Leomon's got to die before we get a chance to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, it'll be.
It'd be so
It'll be the
good.
We'll get
episode
the
he
Leomon.
dies.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
we'll get
Ninja
it for
Encyclopedia
Leomon on the
when he
episode he
dies.
Oh, now that we moved it to the end, that's going to be super sad. Leomon dies. Doctor
No,
Who.
it's going to be the episode before he dies, because we'll get the Digimon Encyclopedia, and then the next time on will be like Leomon dies, and it's just going to be like Garner says goodbye. Now that we're done with the synopsis, let's move on to the discussion. What were your highlights?
Bulbamon's cool.
Yeah, I like Velvemon showing up. I like Spidermon showing up. I like the Digimon that showed up. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of it's nice to see Falcomon, who we've not really seen like since Savers, and
Or
it could have
Peckmon.
been like we haven't seen Peckmon either, but I could have been like, I'd be more happier if it was the original Falcomon design, who's never been in the anime, which I think is showing up in Survive when Survive eventually comes out.
Oh, like
But-
the
I
green one.
forgot Survive was going to happen.
Yeah, it got delayed again. They've found a huge problem and they're just redoing it, which is fine because, like, a delayed game will be good, but, like, broken game, broken forever sort of thing.
Yeah.
Well, that was true before patches.
Yeah,
That quote's
but,
been
like-
Yeah, but
updated for years.
broken forever in people's minds, like a broken game
I'm
that
told
is
Final
released.
Fantasy 15 is playable now, and I'm just never ever going to try.
Yeah, it's just like, even if patches fix it, like, it's still broken forever in the mind of people. So I'm
Well-
fine with waiting for Survive if it's actually going to be like a good game. Like, I can be patient. I'm glad that we got an actual update about it though.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think we did really. It's kind of just like
Yeah,
one
we
of the
did. We
producers
got an
on
update,
Twitter
like,
tweeted something, and
Yeah,
I've not seen
that's
an
an update.
announcement really. That's
That's
barely
an
an
update.
announcement.
Yeah. But anyway, so any other highlights?
Yeah, Valvemon was definitely cool. I am almost on board with, like, some of the kids being stranded in the real world. We didn't do anything useful with that, but maybe we will.
Oh yeah, like I have hopes for it. I just don't think we're going to be seeing them anytime soon.
Yeah.
Or at least we'll have like 3-minute segments per episode of what are the other children doing in the real world.
Yeah.
And I hope those segments involve them actually being stressed about their Digimon, because Taichi and Yamato just kind of forgot.
And so did the kids.
Yeah, everyone was like, well, that's that then.
Yep.
Here is this new child that we have.
Like,
I hope we have Mimi's parents.
I am okay with the kids being stranded in the real world, provided the Digimon are also stranded in the real world, and we get an episode of them just wandering around and trying to
So
find the
far,
kids.
we
Or
don't
them-
seem to be doing that, but it would be actually pretty cool if they were stranded in just somewhere else in Tokyo.
Or like they're in their Digivice or something, which I feel like that would be possible to happen.
Maybe. But actually,
But,
I think
yeah,
I don't like that as much, because I have always enjoyed the just ridiculous costume antics.
Oh yeah, I want the costume antics, but like I don't have high hopes anymore. Episode 18 kind of ruined any hope that I would have for anything.
Ouch.
Yeah.
You're not
Like,
wrong.
I mean, I still had like bits I liked in this episode, but it was still like, man, episode 18, not good.
Yeah,
But-
it left a bad taste in my
yeah.
mouth going into this one.
It was just like, wow, I can't wait for the Taichi Yamato show again. And it was the Taichi Yamato show, but they sure didn't have characters again.
I figured it out.
Yeah?
The colon, it's Taijin Yamato as viewed from above.
Oh, because there's two. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. It's showing the number of characters that are relevant.
Oof, but yeah.
Do we have any other highlights? Because I think we just accidentally dipped into lowlights. Again.
Intro song's
I
still
actually
good.
kind of enjoyed Leomon. I don't...
Oh yeah, I enjoyed that.
Like, Leomon was interesting. Leomon leading a resistance was... I hope is eventually going to be something kind of meaningful. So far it has not been, because the resistance is exactly 5 people.
Yeah, well, the fact that
Well,
the
6.
writers actually remembered about Neimon was great. Like,
Yeah.
he knew of the chosen the children were coming because he heard from Neimon, and Yamato said, so Neimon's safe. Like, I really appreciated that. It was just such like a quick scene, but I just really appreciated it. That was nice. And I don't know, Taichi Yamato didn't have characters, but I'm glad that with Leomon actually sort of had some semblance of a character. I don't have that many highlights though. Like the whole infiltration was kind of cool, except for the Troopmon ruining it. And the Digimon that was shown, it was nice to see. I liked how Troopmon showed up, even though they've been in Cross Wars. And the fact that lately I'm not sure if y'all saw, but on Twitter, it was announced that the Cross Wars Digimon were finally going to be given like canonic like levels. That gives me the idea that they're going to be showing up more in this season. Like, we're going to get more Cross Wars Digimon that are showing up, and that's why we're all of a sudden getting these canonical levels for them. I hope, because I really do like a lot of Digimon that show up in Cross Wars. In fact, I think Spartamon is also a Digimon that showed up in Cross Wars. Troopmon is. It's nice. Yeah. I like that.
I kind of dug Troopmon's outfit. The weird teeth-looking zippers was a cool touch.
Yeah, like I absolutely love that. I like seeing Digimon. Yeah.
They breathed miasma stuff, so you knew they were.
Yeah,
evil.
that was kind of neat.
Yeah. Anything else?
I think that's it for me.
Do you want to move on to lowlights? Because I'm pretty sure I've exhausted my list of lowlights because it's just Troopmon's lasers doing nothing.
Hikari's mom, just terrible on multiple levels.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, every time she shows up, I feel like she gets somehow just more empty as a character.
Hikari
and
too.
Just continues. Hikari's just like, she's just...
Did Hikari say
I don't know.
anything?
I don't think...
I'm so worried that Hikari won't have a character, like, at all. Like, she'll just be magic.
Keep the writing light.
What we're building to.
Like, I don't like it when she's just magic girl.
If I can dip into the preview for next time, I specifically dislike that the preview showed Takeru getting an egg.
Oh yeah, I didn't like that either.
Yeah.
And then...
Like, I mean, it means that, you know how we were talking about how the Holy Digimon are likely to be Seraphimon and Ophanimon, because they mentioned that Ophanimon and Seraphimon didn't die in that great big war, and we were wondering how they'd deal with having basically all them, like, those Digimon will have all their memories, and they'll be these super powerful Digimon that fought in a war.
Yeah.
I guess we're not going to have that.
But looking at the shot at the very end, it appears to be just regular Angemon in chains.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not a special magic Angemon yet. It's just
It's the end of the Fire Island arc.
Yep, pretty much. I was hoping we would go somewhere else with the end of it.
I mean, but we're not on Fire Island. We're on the Cloud Continent, aren't we?
We are, but...
Yeah, but what I'm saying is...
That's not
it's the end of the Fire Island arc.
Yeah, like, Cloud Continent could have just been Fire Island, like, just attached to Fire Island. It doesn't feel like we really moved much.
No, and it's the Fire Island arc, except that this time Takeru and Patamon will not even have, like, you know, a buddy cop episode first.
Takeru was in the Matrix.
Yeah, he just sort of like floating in a jar. Not a fan of that, by the way. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
And then I don't know. I guess we're finally gonna get maybe something out of Yamato, but
something out of Yamato. All he did was, like, his eyes went dark, and he did, like, the anime shadow around the eyes thing. Like, he basically became, like, a sadness raccoon. Like, it's just...
That's a good episode
I'm not expecting...
Sadness
What, a sadness raccoon?
Yes.
I was going to go with a reference to Troopmon can't, like, aim, but, like, sadness raccoon is probably better.
Yeah, no, so I mean, like, this episode had good parts. I would say it was overall significantly better than the one before it, but it was
that's
below
not hard.
average even for this series, which so far has been super hit and miss.
Look, I could down a bottle of scotch and then just, like, spend 1 minute just spouting out nonsense about Digimon, and that would be better written than the last episode. And it would probably just involve Mimi and Palmon going on an adventure in the digital world and, like, I don't know, maybe making food from things they find and pretending they have, like, their own cooking show. That's what I would come up with, and it would be better written than episode 18.
Mimi needs to teach Palmon how to make tea.
No, I think Palmon already knows. I think Palmon needs to teach Mimi how to make tea.
Okay, either way, I'm super here for it. I just want one of them teaching the other a useful skill.
Yeah, that'd be, and it's probably Palmon, to be honest. But like, I don't know, like anything could be better than episode 18. There were episodes of Frontier that were better than episode 18. Primarily the Bergamon episode.
Bergamon episode was good.
The Bergamon episode is the best episode of Frontier, which is not saying much.
No, it was an average episode of Digimon, but it was a good episode.
Compared to the rest of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But any other lowlights? Because we're still on lowlights.
Most of this episode was super lame.
Yeah.
I can
My
go into more
ongoing one where
specifics.
Devimon just doesn't do anything.
No, he gives exposition. Okay?
He also steals colour from the show for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just like, ha ha ha, look at all these evil Digimon. He also has Dark Knightmon, by the way, which is
That's what that
another
is.
Cross Wars Digimon. So we're just getting Cross Wars Digimon, and I think the bird one that was like in a shadow is like the evil beast spirit evolution from Frontier, the Valgamon, the big angry bird. So that's nice to see.
You know what? I figured it out.
Yep.
Devimon is just being Palpatine. Something dark side. Something complete.
That certainly, definitely is his, the whole thing that he seems to be doing with his exposition, because it's just like, it's very sort of like vague, evil, I'm the bad guy exposition, but I do, however, appreciate that he's, giving it to the audience and not to the children randomly, because that seems to happen a lot with bad guys.
That's fair. I wish he was giving it to, I don't know, someone specific. I wish that we had any idea of what his goals or motivation were besides being evil.
Okay, the only way that this could be, like, good is if he's actually telling Vamdemon this plan, or Edamon, or some other next bad guy, and then the bad guy will take that and run with it, and then just do better than Devimon, because Devimon is probably going to die in 6 episodes when Takuru realizes how to evolve a Digimon. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I am worried
Who is he
that
talking
next
to?
episode is gonna be bad because
Yeah, I'm worried about that. I mean, it could be good. I'm glad that it probably won't be the Titan Yamato show because we have an additional character. I can't wait for Takuru to be strong for 1 episode and then be as weak as the others the moment he stops being, like, plot important. I don't know.
Koichi.
I don't have high hopes.
Who said
Yeah,
that?
I was exactly thinking Koichi, especially because Koichi's beast spirit is showing up. Like, it's just like, oh man, I'm really worried that this is just going to be Frontier Part 2, but without the spirit evolutions, which was probably, like, the lore and the spirit evolutions was probably the best parts of Frontier, and it still was bad. Like, the lore of this sounding a little bit like Frontier has always had me a little bit, but now I'm just like, oh no, it's Frontier version 2, and not in a good way.
Yeah.
Any other lowlights?
The whole infiltration of Bulbmon was just poor.
Well, we had already seen the exact same infiltration again with Canon Beamon.
That-
It even looked the same.
It
There
really
was-
did, and then also we intentionally walked in at the top and then made our way down.
And then we also had the Troopmon lasers, which did not make it seem... It made it seem very easy. This whole infiltration seemed...
It was
Just
so
too
easy. It was
easy.
way
There's
too
no
easy.
obstacle.
And it was somehow not a trap. I expected, like, okay, it's definitely, like...
Oh, it
it's
was a
definitely
trap.
not legitimate.
Meditaramon and
It wasn't a
Bulbmon were
trap.
down there, waiting. It was a
But
trap.
they were already meant... Like,
But they sucked.
everyone knew that they were there.
Valmont being there was not a trap.
No, and also... The cargo was like a real cargo. It wasn't just like, haha, there is no cargo. It is just your doom. It wasn't like, it was just not, why?
The breaking
could
into
have
the
just been
pyramid
anything.
episode was way better at making me care about this infiltration thing.
Yeah, and also the Prisoner of the Pyramid episode was, there was something evil down there. He wasn't a good guy.
It was
There were
2 parts
stakes.
as well.
Someone we cared about, we knew was down there.
And, like, Taichi realized that he could actually die. Like, there were lots of levels of good things. This one was just like, well, you made it. All you have to do is fight an adult-level Digimon. In fact, 2 adult-level Digimons. You are 3 adult-level Digimons.
With
go.
the option to go higher.
Yeah, with the option to go higher. And also, you just pulled Omegamon out of your bottom. So,
Yeah.
just
there
1v1 Valvemon.
There
Why
are a
was
lot
so
of
much
problems
of
with this.
Why was it just so focused on showing us how cool Leomon is?
So that when we
Well-
kill him next episode, we'll think, wow, that guy was cool.
Yeah, we're meant to care about Leomon.
But why?
And I guess I do. Leomon was cool because, like, they want to break our hearts, and they're not going to because I already know that he's going to die.
We've already come to terms with his death.
See, that's why I think it'd be great if they have Leomon not die and him actually survive for a whole season, because it'll just be a nice little like a subversion of expectations I said earlier. Also, I'm sorry if you hear my dog growling. He is very angry at the moment, and I guess my partner decided it was time to wake up the dog. And he's wearing a cone, he doesn't want to be touched. So if you hear any snarling, that is my dog in another room being upset that he has to wear a cone of shame because he had 21 teeth removed, which I now have on my desk. I don't know why the vet gave me the teeth, but anyway.
Good tough spares.
Any other lowlights?
I think there's plenty.
Yeah, so comparisons for the original series, I guess we've already kind of touched on various different series and their respective two main character shows and infiltration episodes and existence of characters, but do we have any other comparisons? Because I don't think I do.
Leomon's the leader of Rebellion Bird Digimon. Apparently only birds are allowed in this rebellion.
And Dark Knightmon, which is still... also,
It's
Dark
just Batman.
Knightmon seems stronger than Devimon, I think.
I hope Devimon doesn't die next episode. But it wouldn't surprise
I
me.
don't think so.
I feel reasonably certain that we're going to get another suicide attack from Angemon.
Yeah.
Or it'll be
But I
like
don't think
they
it's gonna kill
think they defeated Devimon, but then he comes back and he's stronger and he's Myotismon now or something.
Yeah, we could definitely
mean-
see that happen, and he just
I mean,
becomes Vambimon.
I've read, like, the episode titles for the next, like, 4 episodes have been, like, released, so I already know... I won't spoil anything, but I've already read those episode titles.
Fair.
Good for you.
But,
I don't like
yeah, do
reading.
we have any other comparisons? Yeah, I like reading because I'm just like, I don't know why, it gives me some sort of, like... maybe sometimes it's like, oh, maybe it'll get good if I read these titles. I don't know. Anyway, are we ready to move on to favourite character?
Yeah,
Well, no characters had personality, so I'm just going to pick Leomon because
I don't think that's true,
he
May.
was there.
Joe in the real world
Joe
was the
was-
best.
Well, Joe was peak Joe, but I wish we saw more of him, and Leomon was kind of cool, and I'm not sure how many times I'll be able to choose Leomon, so I'm just going to choose Leomon.
That's
It's a
valid.
ticking time bomb.
Yeah.
I hope Leomon dies for his hubris really soon.
Oh, no.
He's just too
At
arrogant.
least I picked him.
Leomon's the
So,
worst and I hate him and I hope he dies.
So,
Wish
Stevie,
granted.
who's your favourite for this episode?
Yeah, Joe. Joe,
Joe?
just
That's like... Hang on,
no
can
one
we just,
else.
like, how many times you picked...
just no one else
You've
is any
picked
good.
this, You know, like that episode of Jimmy Neutron where he just keeps on bringing Ultra Boy to the class? I'm just like, Stevie, this is the 5th time you've picked Joe.
Is it really?
Yes.
I'm okay with that.
You picked him for episode 3 when all he did was he cut his finger.
Yes.
You picked him for episode 7, episode 8, episode 17, and now episode 19. Like, we get it. Joe is very likable. I can't believe I've never picked Joe.
Joe is my
I'll
boy.
pick Joe. I'm sure I'll pick Joe another time. Like, I've picked Gomamon because Gomamon's great, but I'm sure I'll pick Joe because Joe is great. Quinn, who are we picking?
Final lowlight that Mimi did not mention her avocado cheeseburger, but
She
She's
barely
too shocked.
spoke.
No, she's... Well, remember, she promised to have it with Palmon, and Palmon's not there, so her priority is now Palmon.
you know what? My favorite character was the Burger Jack sign. It had the most personality of anyone in the episode.
Wow.
We're just picking Burger Jack sign?
Yep.
Well, I guess props to the writers, or the animators rather, for remembering that
How many episodes?
that Burger Jack existed.
How many episodes in a row are you gonna go, Quinn? Just picking background elements to be your favorite
Until
character.
we get a good
It's
episode with a good character in it.
You're on two in a row.
It's only 2 episodes in a row.
Yeah, but now it's a trend.
Okay.
That Quinn can
Yep.
keep
Yeah.
going.
I can.
Alright,
night
episode
long.
ratings. I gave this episode a 3 out of 5.
That's so generous.
Yeah, that's generous, but, like, I looked at what else I've given 3s, and I was just, well, okay, I gave one other episode a 3, and it was episode 3, which was just, like, they got to the real world, the digital world at the end, and that episode was just marginally better than that, so I'm giving it a 3 on that basis. It was also a lot better than episode 18, which I gave a 2, so I gave it a 3, just looking at the other things I'd given 3s and 3.5s. Stevie, what are we giving this out of 5?
See, I don't think it's half a point better than last episode, so I'm just going to go with 2 again.
I'm going to do 2.5.
Wow, so it's 2.5. Yeah, that's fine. That brings the total to 7.5 for this episode, which, oh my gosh, we don't have another 7.5, so we don't have to, look at that. Anyway, so, then now looking at the rankings, my bottom 3 are episode 18, episode 10, and episode 3. My top 3 are episode 12 in top place, episode 14, episode 15 coming in third. I'm putting episode 19 as bottom 4th, so 4th from the bottom. So out of the bottom 4, it goes episode 19, episode 3, episode 10, episode 18, and that's just where I'm putting it. Stevie, where are we putting episode 19? I sent you the ranking before, I think.
I'm going to put it 3rd from bottom, so just above Bergerman Source.
That is reasonable.
I am also going 3rd from bottom, just under Bergerman Source.
Okie dokie. So we've pretty much put it basically more or less all in the same place. I put it in 4th from bottom, and Jarl put it in 3rd from bottom.
Yeah.
Let's look at we gave a 7 to episode 10, which was previously our least favourite episode. So that makes this episode...
marginally better.
Marginally better than that. So it's actually 3rd from bottom in our overall. So...
That seems fair.
Our overall ranking being our top 3 from best to least best is episode 14, King of Insects, episode 15, Zudamon's Iron Hammer of Lightning, and episode 12, Leomon's Blossoms. See, that sounds inappropriate. Lilymon Blossoms, my apologies. And our bottom 3 from worst to still bad, but not that bad. Episode 18 is still the worst, and I hope it stays there. I don't want to see worse than that, because that'll just be soul-crushingly terrible. Episode 10, which was the worst for a long time. And then episode 19, which was this one. And yeah, I think that's fine. That is a fine place to put it. Yeah, that's our ranking. I need to update the website for it. Any other thoughts about the rankings?
I want episodes to get good again.
Mm-hmm. We had such a good streak, and then it just died. Yeah,
well, if you look at our top ones are all, from almost, more than 5 episodes ago, and we had, a really good streak, but all of the episodes being, top 5, or mostly top 5.
I've not given anything higher than 3 since episode 15.
My final thought on the episode is that I wish Ty cared at all that he killed a bunch of people today.
Yeah, he just doesn't. Nobody has care.
But the cool lion Digimon did it too, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Moving on to questions. Annabear on YouTube says the episode. This is talking about obviously episode 18. This episode just sucks so much. We learned so much about every character, about what happened, and then we get this episode, frowny face emoticon. I expected way more. I do agree with maybe keeping it to filler and them just exploring fake Tokyo until the sand demon takes them, but Omegamon and the other Digimon that they were fighting, they were just really boring. Sure, having the Icemon fighting them would have been fun, but he digivolved twice already. Mm-hmm. And I agree completely. It was not... I'll be happy if that's the worst episode of this season, but I press F to doubt. I always doubt that they'll be better than this.
You put press next, F to pay respects and press X to doubt together.
Oh yeah, it was X. Yeah, I know it was press something. I can never remember. I'm well, I know it definitely press F to pay respects, so press F to doubt as well, and also pay respects to the Fallen episode being good, and also Leomon. Just eventually press F in chat. Anyway, next we have the Bleach J16 on YouTube, who says that their favourite part of the episode was Taichi and Yamato dragging Gabumon to the fight. I'm already getting spooky for the season. I agree with that. That was great. I don't know why the other characters couldn't do the same. And yeah, I just liked how they were physically dragging them. Anyway, so they continue to say the countdown wasn't really affected to them because most of it was spent with Koshiro just talking about it. 5 minutes past the kids doing nothing. Felt like they just wanted another Our War Game plot, and of course they did. Like, it's Digimon, they have Omegamon, it's always Our War Game. They always have or Our War Game references when Omegamon shows up. Anyway, they continue to say the last 2 episodes to them have been pretty much represented all the problems with Colin so far. Bare bones plot, bare bones character writing, Taichi and Yamato are the only ones that matter, aside from, like, Koshiro, because he's the exposition boy. Everyone else are just backup dancers. And yeah, I agree, sadly. Next, we have Connor on YouTube, who's disappointed they got separated again just after getting back together. I'm always like half and half on separation arcs. Sometimes they're really bad. Other times we can actually do something interesting when we're focusing on different characters. But we've got the Taichi Yamato show showing up now. Next, we have Ray of Truth on YouTube saying that they know that the overuse of Omnimon has been a meme since Try, but this series is the first time they've really felt it. And yeah, I think every year we get not only a new Omegamon, but a new evolution, like just a showing of Omegamon existing, and it's just such like, why? Next, we have Leoli01 on YouTube, who says their favourite character is Tai, so the Tai and Matt show doesn't really bother them, but they understand where people are coming from. But maybe it's like Pokemon and there are certain writers and animators that just don't do well. I don't know, I feel like that'd be a lot who just really like Tai and Yamato. And Thomas on YouTube is our last one, and they say that they would consider this one of the worst episodes of Digimon Colon. It saddens them, bad animation, build up to Nidhoggmon didn't do well, and the lack of worry from Taichi's mum for Taichi. And yeah, I agree. Taichi's mum is still like, I want her to actually show emotion about the children disappearing, but I don't know, she just seems to care about the car and perhaps the cat. And
she cares about the cat so much more than Taichi.
And Hikari. Her 2 children, she cares about the cat more. Like, I mean, I really do love my dog.
She doesn't
but
even
I also
give
don't have
Hikari a
children.
hug before she leaves her with some random child.
Yeah, like that she probably only knows very basically through her son, probably only a little bit. Like, not enough that she would probably trust her child. But anyway, it's just... And they didn't even sort of... She didn't even ask for, like, permission, like, hey, I'm going to leave my 8-year-old. She just sort of... She said, I'm going to leave my 8-year-old, not, hey, is it okay if I leave my 8-year-old here? I don't know. It's just like, hey, can you just stay here, or do you have something to do? I don't know. And also not addressing the older boy and just giving it to the 10-year-old. Anyway, it's weird. Do we have any other thoughts, or can we wrap this up?
Omegamon sucks in this because, like, Omega means the end, and he showed up at the beginning, and now also the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it turns out that he's the Alpha and the Omega and the beginning and the end.
And then also the middle.
Yeah, and the middle, and he's always...
That's why he's Omnimon.
Yeah, they changed the dub, know what's up.
He's all there is.
And there isn't anymore. Thank you for joining us, and next time we'll be watching episode 20, The Seventh One Awakens. I wonder what that could be about. Do we have predictions that are very much not the obvious, because the title does not have any sort of... doesn't give us any room to predict much, and also the next time on, like, was kind of like, I guess we're getting an egg arc.
Yeah.
Who is the 7th child, though?
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah, who is the 7th Digidestined? Find out on Digimon Digital Monsters.
I'm gonna go out a little bit of a limb and say we will do a suicide attack on Devimon, who will then secretly evolve into Vamdimon.
I don't know how I feel about that. It's honestly dependent on writing. That could be done really badly, and it's probably going to be done really badly, but also can be done really well, and also it would explain why we've spent 19 episodes and we're still going to be fighting Devimon.
Yeah,
I mean, the scary thing about Devimon this time is that he has an army.
Yeah.
Of, like, Digimon who are stronger than adult.
And he didn't feel the need to lure any children with, free candy.
Yeah, because we already had Aizmon do it.
Yep. Yeah, I'm still slightly unclear on whether or not Aizmon had anything to do with Devimon, which is weird, and
I think he did. Like,
I mean, I think that's what they were going for, but...
Yeah,
any acknowledgement of what happened? Like...
I think... Of course, one Devimon said something about it, like, like Nidhoggmon's thing was part of the plan.
Yeah,
so,
I think he did say that.
Data for him.
But I think it was also just Nidhoggmon being Nidhoggmon. Like, I think this was just kind of like his thing that he does. I don't know.
He just digivolves twice from Aizmon.
Yeah.
Conveniently.
Do we have any other predictions?
Yamato's gonna cry.
Sadness Raccoon again.
Yeah, it's gonna be real sad.
He'll just have vaguely shaky anime eyes.
Oh, can we get, like, some story about what their family situation is? Just, like, some character. Like, did they only just divorce? Is this, like, a thing that's gone on for years? Are they not divorced? Are their parents dead because they're just not there, apparently? I don't know. Can we get something?
Can we get Taichi remembering his sister?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to. He just has not... He's forgotten about his sister because I think, Hikari's mum forgets about the sister. He forgets about the sister. Nobody remembers Hikari except for the writers.
Hates each other.
Like, imagine if your sister was Jesus. Like, I think you'd be a little bit jealous.
That's fair.
That sounds like a great sitcom, just like My Sister is Jesus.
No, that sounds like a light novel
It
title.
sounds like
My
a
sister
great
is Jesus
light
and I don't know
novel.
how to deal with this, but also my mum doesn't care.
My sister is the savior of humanity, and I don't know what to do about this.
Except ignore her.
My last prediction, and I hope it is not true, is that the only thing Taku is going to say is he'll wake up at the very end and say Oni-chan.
I was just about to say that. That's
no.
like, we don't know that that's the only, like, he can actually say any other lines except for Oni-chan. Like, I'm pretty sure that's all he said.
My prediction.
Yeah?
Leomon's going to die so that they can retrieve Angemon, and Angemon's going to die during the escape.
Likely, yeah.
Oh, well, the next episode's not called Leomon Dies, so I don't know about that.
Well, he's
Yeah,
being
but they have
usurped
two
by
important things happen
Takaru.
in one episode.
Yeah.
But I don't see both Leomon and like everyone else making out if they're alive if they're going to save Angemon.
Yeah, that's fair. Anything else?
I want someone to die next episode.
Jeez, you're out for blood, aren't you?
You're
I don't know why. I just think someone's due a death.
Yeah, you're gonna get at least a completely unearned Angemon death.
Yeah, well, Angemon's going to die.
I think
Or be reborn.
what I'm missing is actual stakes in the show, so I need them to show me that there's going to be some.
Yeah.
Leomon stakes.
Leomon's not stakes.
No.
Leomon
Leomon
steaks
steaks as
pecs.
in you can eat them.
Yeah.
Yeah, actual stakes would be good, and also I wish that I could trust this show to come up with emotional stakes that don't involve death.
That'd be good.
Yeah, it's always just been plot death to make you feel, and also to make the characters feel, so they can unlock an evolution. Maybe Leomon will be turned evil. Like, that makes him live for a tiny bit longer if he just becomes evil.
I don't want them to do that again.
Oh, me neither, but I'm just saying that feels like something that they would do.
They keep just doing things, but again.
Yeah, I know. I don't expect them to do anything that different. Like, they're going to still, like... They're going to do a few things different, and then they're going to do, like, the majority of things marginally the same. It's Digimon. You wanted them to put thought into this?
I hoped they would.
Oh, so, any other predictions? Or are we ready to continue to wrap this up?
Let's wrap this up.
I predict...
Alright, let's see if I can...
I predict that I would receive the crest of disappointment.
Well, hopefully not.
Yeah.
So, let's do the outro, and let's see if I can flub, and let's see if... Do you have predictions about me flubbing or not during the outro?
I think
You're
you're
gonna
going to
ace it.
flub the...
Look, I've only aced it once, and it was the episode that Stevie couldn't make it, and Quinn said that she had to, like, I think, go do groceries, so I had to do the outro alone.
That's
and
right.
I did it completely perfectly.
Well, then just pretend we're not here.
It checks out.
It's hard. I don't know why. I don't know. I always flub it. Anyway, so let's, fingers crossed for me, round of applause, whatever. I mean, preemptive round of applause? I don't know. Anyway, the link dumps. I heard a clap, and now I'm distracted. Anyway, that does not count because I had not really started yet. Anyway, so the link dump's linked in the description. Redbubble's also linked in the description, and you get more than just shirts there too. You can contact us and stay updated. You can email us at LostinTranslationmon@gmail.com, or you can comment on this episode or message us on our website, LostinTranslationmon.com. You can also follow us at TranslationMon on Twitter, and you can find us on Lost in Translation on Tumblr, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. We have a discussion thread on With the Will, and a red thread on Digimon subreddit. And we'd appreciate any podcast listening reviews that you have, and we're reading out... Oh, man. I realised that I said the wrong words, and then I tried not to pay attention to it, and then I ended up flubbing. Whoops. So, I'd appreciate any reviews, and we'd read about them on the... we'd read them out on the podcast, give you a shout out, and we'd appreciate it, because I flubbed already, and I'm sorry. You can also donate to our Patreon. You can donate to our Patreon, which is linked in the description, from us at less than $1 a month. That gets you access to a listen Discord server, but there are higher levels, more rewards, it's notes, early episodes, and more. And thank you to our supporters on Patreon, Joe, Stephen Reeves, with Wildwig64 can archive our own, Kaidawashi, Chisa, who can follow on Twitter at Chisai236, Kyle, Lismet, who is Lekmon on Tumblr, Nicholas, Metal Maimon, Sam, Spiral, Keith from Gone Will Hunting, a Hunter Hunter Rewatch podcast, Silverhead Freak 25, Magnus, Lucas, Blindman, and Japhus. You can also make one you can also make a one-off donation at PayPal, which we found in the description. It's paypal.me/Airjamon. You can also donate to me on Coffee, ko-fi.com/Airjara. I'm sorry for flubbing. I think I flubbed more than I've ever flubbed before, and I also started speaking in tongues at some point.
The preemptive round of applause didn't do you any favours.
Yeah, it was a bad round of...
God, Stevie, your
displause.
random applause was bad.
Yeah, like,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry about that, but thanks for listening to me being able to talk for over an hour and then in the last few minutes just not be able to talk at all.
It's the
But,
thanks.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I sabotaged
But,
the outro instead of the intro this time.
Keeping it different.
Damn you, Stevie! But yeah, so thanks everyone for listening, and where can we find you, Stevie?
Oh, you came to me first. Oh no.
I think I always come to you, don't I?
No, I
First?
think you went.
Maybe I misremember.
I remember you went to Quinn last time.
Well,
But yeah.
sometimes I change it up. Stevie?
You can find me on the Moncast with Quinn and Nay, where we talk
Who are
about
they?
Digimon Tamers and Pokemon Advanced is the one.
Where you're the hero.
Pokemon Advanced. Pokemon Advanced.
And Quinn, can we find you anywhere, or do we have to enroll in one of your classes?
You have to roll in my classes, and then I actually got a really nice email from a kid who was unenrolling, who was dropping my class, and was just like, hey, it's nothing to do with you, and I hope I'll take this again, but
Aw.
I'm like, oh, poor kiddo. But
That's
yeah, now
nice.
you'd have to come to class, or listen to me here, or on the Moncast.
Yeah. And yeah, so of course, thank you for joining me, and everyone, thank you for listening to another episode of Lost in Translationmon. We'll see you guys next time. Bye!
Bye.
Bye!